Hi there. My name is Peter Hartman. You're watching the Appreciationist pre-show. This is the pre-show that happens at 6:45 p.m. every Wednesday. If you want to be a part of the show, feel free to participate. We started a little earlier to give people a chance to come in, figure out their webcam, figure out their microphone, make sure that everything works, get them up to speed with what we're about to do for the show from 7 to 7:30 p.m. So 6:45 is really your chance to come on board, to get settled in, to get started. I really want to encourage you, if you're watching the show, if you've watched the show, please feel free to participate with us. It's really fun to talk about these ideas. It's even more fun to talk about them with other people. So you're definitely invited to come and participate with the show. It's every Wednesday at 6:45 p.m. 6:45 to 7 is where we're sort of prepping. So you have that time to get on board, and then we start the show at 7. If you're watching this now, the show will be starting soon in about 10-15 minutes. We're going to be waiting for people to come and participate with us, or seeing who's coming to participate. It might just be me. We'll see how that works out. But please stay tuned. If you're just watching, be patient. We're going to be starting in about 10 to 15 minutes. Thank you very much. So right now you're going to be seeing me sort of prepare and do stuff. So please don't bail out. We'll be starting the show at 7 p.m. If you have any questions, feel free to use the Q&A app. Use the Q&A app, and you can ask a question, and we can save that for our question and answer segment. And if you, what was I going to say? Oh, I forget what I was going to say. But yeah, you can use the Q&A app in order to ask questions, and we'll be starting the show very soon. Today we're talking about expectations. Expectations are going to be a lot of fun. I was going to say something. I'm sure I was going to say something. $6:45 to 7 p.m. pre-show for the Appreciationist. We talked about a lot of stuff on the Appreciationist. Really what we want to do is to get the conversation going, stimulate some ideas, interact with people who don't live in Montreal, who don't live where I am, and want to participate live with us. Here's your chance to do it. If you know somebody who might benefit from what we're doing, please send them the video. If there's a topic that you would like to address or have addressed in one of our episodes of the Appreciationist, feel free to submit a question or submit a statement, because, for example, today's conversation about expectation was brought about by one of our members who wanted to talk about it. She wrote a message, and here we are doing it. So please feel free to contribute in that way.
Hey, Peter.
Hi, Kimichi.
How are you?
Well, yourself?
Pretty good.
Good to see you. I like the shot. It's really cool.
Yeah, I was having problems with my Apple TV, so I moved my computer to my living room, and I didn't want to move it back to my computer room to do the Appreciationist, so now I'm doing it in my living room.
That works for me. I like it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So it's actually not as comfortable because I have to lean forward for the controls.
I understand.
To feel a bit of back problems.
Yeah, I know how you feel. Well, hopefully all that gets adjusted here. But I'm very glad that you're here today. I really appreciate it. I'm just letting people know what from 6:45 p.m. to 7 p.m. it's a pre-show, and I just want to let people know this is where we sort of get set up, make sure everything works well, the microphones work well, camera works well, and if anybody is sort of out there interested in participating with the show, all you have to do is click on, well, you have to add me to your circle. So on the right side of the screen, you'll see a little red button that says Add to Circles. That's if you're on the Google Plus page. And if you add me, then I add you back, and then I invite you to the show. Everybody who has added me up until last week was invited to the show today, and so you can also be invited. Just click Add to Circles on the right side. When you came to the show, did you get a call from me, or how did you get online?
It seems every time it's different. This time it was I got a window saying I can join. Usually I get a pop-up. This was on the lower right corner. I got a window saying Appreciationist is happening right now. Do you want to join? So then I clicked on that. I got another window, and I had to confirm that other people can watch it, and I'm okay with that. And then once I clicked on that, then nothing happened. I had to click again. So it was totally different than the other time. It seems that it's changing everything every few weeks or something.
Yeah, I know. It's actually pretty interesting. My brother, he's a web programmer, and even he couldn't figure out how to get on board. I think they try to make it sort of safe so that people are not sort of interrupting your show, interrupting what you're doing. But at the same time, it's a little difficult for people to get on board. I'm really hoping that they simplify that process. But here you are, and we'll figure it out.
The problem with Google is when they write an application, it has to be compatible with all the other software that they have. So they have Google Hangouts, they have YouTube, they have. So that's why it gets complicated, because it's not like Skype. Skype, you just have one application, and it connects to another Skype, and that's it. So it always works. Here, first of all, it can't be a separate application. It has to be the web, because it has to be compatible with searching with a lot of the other software that's out there, Google software. So that's what makes it hard. It's the platform that they're on.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that definitely makes sense. Because it's not like they have to sort of be universally compatible, and they want to make sure that they can do that. So yeah, they have to. Skype is a single-purpose application, and this is a multi-purpose application. So we're seeing it being used this way. But you know what? When I first heard about Google Hangouts, it was sort of more pitched like you can invite your friends, and I think when you're inviting your friends and stuff, they're already on your Google Plus circles. It's sort of easier in that way. But the way we do it is that we have to sort of get people to add us to their circles, and then at that point, messages have to come up. So I never really know. Actually, what I did one time is that I tried to add myself, like on my cell phone or on my other computer. And again, on those devices, I didn't get a ring, nothing pops up, and I'm always very curious as to how that works. But I'm confident that as we use it and as sort of Google progresses, that it'll become clearer and clearer. At least I hope so. My expectation.
Yeah, I think so. I think that even Google is trying to understand how it connects with their other software, because it's very hard to conceptually see it before the software is alive. So they're going to get there. Usually, any software you release the first time, it's just with Google, it's 10 times harder because of the platform. But eventually, they'll iron out all the bugs and be very consistent. But it's frustrating.
Yeah, I know it is. But you know, I'm hopeful. At least we have this ability. I mean, before Google Hangouts came out, there was really no way to allow a bunch of people to come together and in such an easy way without going to a single application and getting people on that. So, kind of happy that this is here. How are you dealing with the heat wave here? You have AC there?
I have a portable AC unit that sometimes works, sometimes doesn't work. But that plus living on the first floor is enough for me to get by.
Yeah, that's good. I'm up on the third floor, and the heat, because I turn off my AC at night, I don't like to sleep with it on, and I wake up just covered in sweat. It's just so hot in here. But I just keep reminding myself during the winter how cold it can get, and sort of just trying to appreciate the heat for what it is.
Yeah, I just don't know how people, there's some people on the 20th floor, how they survive without air conditioning.
Yeah.
I'm having problems here with the first floor. So.
Yeah. Well, we were invited to go to Mexico, so I'm sort of like happy to get some practice here to deal with the heat, because I know it's going to be very hot down there, very humid, and
Are you staying?
Sweating issues. So I'm getting some good practice here dealing with the heat, I feel.
Are you staying at a hotel?
We're staying at a vacation condo that's being made available to us.
So it must have
in Playa del Carmen.
it must have an air conditioner.
I have to imagine that they do, but we're going to be holding our events at this little. If all goes well, we'll be holding it in this little hut in the jungle, and the hut doesn't have AC, I believe.
Okay. Wow.
But we'll see how that goes. We just did a last meetup, Love and Attraction, and it was so warm in there. I really didn't expect it. We had big windows, but we had the setting sun, so the sun was sort of streaming into the space, and man, was it hot! Man, was I sweating! But it went well enough. I wonder who's coming today.
Just like for the meetup, people seem to miss the instructions on how to get online with Google Plus. Maybe if you could change those instructions with a different color. I don't know if Meetup allows you to do that. So like as soon as you see it, it pops up right at you.
I don't know. I mean, the one thing we tried to do is that you can make it so that you ask a question when somebody RSVPs. And so what we tried to do is that when someone RSVP, they get a message that says, you know, did you read the description or something like that? But
that was
I don't
cool.
know. But even with that, sometimes people don't see the description, they don't read it. It's surprising to me, but you know, I don't know. I try to create these complete descriptions with full instructions with all the information. But if people don't read that, then there's really not much I can do. But over time, people sort of figure it out. Sometimes it's not the first time, but over time, people sort of figure it out. I think there's somebody else in the room here.
Hi, Betty.
Hi, Betty, can you hear us? You could probably hear us and see us, but I can't hear you, Betty.
Betty, try clicking on your volume. You probably have it on mute. So try clicking on that. It's a picture of a microphone, and you probably have like an X slash on it. Yeah. I hope that works.
Betty, at the top of your screen, you're going to see these icons. One looks like a little map. Oh, there you are.
Okay, so she got the.
Okay, so we can see you, but we can't hear you yet. So just make sure your microphone is plugged in if you have a microphone plugged in. Otherwise, at the if it's a built-in microphone at the top of the screen, you're going to see a little sort of wheel next to the red button, and if you click that, nothing yet. Okay, hang on.
Oh, you have to move. You have to move your cursor so you can see it, because it doesn't pop up all the time.
That's right. If you move your mouse on the screen, near the top of the screen, you're going to see these icons appear. One has a red sign. The one right next to the red one is a settings, and if you click on that, you should see if your microphone is detected. It should say default microphone, if anything.
She got it. She got it. Yeah. Now, oh, she did. You had it for an instant because there we go. But it doesn't work.
Still not hearing. I can see that you're talking, but still can't hear you. So if the default microphone is set, okay. Because I know that you're not on mute, or else we would see the mute sort of button. So just want to make sure the microphone works. Let's see.
Okay. Another thing is sometimes you have two microphones, or it's reading a feed that's not alive. So you want to go to the settings and select the microphone that you're using for your computer. I've had that problem with someone else.
Yeah, if you go to the settings and you click on where it says default microphone, you should see a drop-down list if you have other options. Thank you very much for trying to get this done. Don't worry about it. I appreciate it. Okay, so when you look at that section, it says default microphone, right? Okay. Do you have any other programs open like Skype or anything else that might use a microphone? No. Okay. So your microphone is built into your computer? You don't know, or I'm sorry. Okay. Because it could be that there is no microphone. Are you on a laptop? Okay, you're on a laptop, so there should be a built-in microphone. Okay, let's try this. Let's try logging out of this and coming back in. Okay, so we're going to log out. I'm going to send you another invite. Okay. Let's try this.
Peter, it's either she has it on mute or she's not selecting the right microphone.
Yeah, that could be it. That's right.
Okay, so when she comes back, if it doesn't work, we try one, then we try the other.
Okay. Hopefully she'll be able to get back in here. Well, at least she was able to figure out how to come in, so that's optimistic.
And she got the video working. That's a big help, because now she can say yes or no. Otherwise, we can't communicate.
That's right.
She probably thought to reboot the whole computer. That's why she's taking long to log in.
You
said get out. She probably thought reboot the whole computer.
Well, even if she does that might help as well. So we'll see how that goes. It'll be cool. That's what the pre-show is for. It's for us to figure out sort of how to get this done. It's interesting because I think she watches the show, so it's good that she sort of is taking the leap to sort of participate.
Yeah, because I find it very frustrating to watch the show, because then you want to say something, you want to make a comment, and you can't. It's like it's frustrating. So then what I did, because I was watching it 2 hours after. So what I did, I went to your Google page that the thing was posted, and I started entering comments.
Okay. Yeah.
I could feel I could express what I wanted to say.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I remember seeing those comments. Very good.
It wasn't really for you. It was just for me, just to have a feeling that I'm able to give some expression.
That's right. Contribute. Yeah. Very good. Speaking of comments, let me make sure people are not commenting here.
Are you familiar with TeamViewer?
Say that again?
Are you familiar with TeamViewer?
TeamViewer, yes, but yeah, TeamViewer, yes.
I have it.
You can have more than one person. You can have more than 2 people on that, right?
No, it's more for debugging. I use it for debugging. If someone has like Betty has a problem right now, if she gets access to her computer, I see it on my computer, and I could go set her settings.
Okay, yeah. What I usually use for that is Join Me. Say again?
Any of these softwares allows you to remote access to another person's computer to help them out, because sometimes it's hard for. I know one friend, he had bought a microphone and he couldn't use it. He asked so many people, and then there's Betty. We'll talk about that later.
No, I don't hear you yet. Okay, so we're gonna try what Dimitri said. So if you don't mind, I don't mind taking the time to do it. At the top of your screen, you should see the settings button. So click on settings, and then in settings, you're gonna see default microphone. If you click on that arrow, do you see more than one option? Try the other options one at a time. That one's not working. Although I thought I heard a little something, but it's not working. Are there only two options? No, still nothing. I can hear that it changed, but it didn't come back on. Okay, there is one more thing to do. Are you on a Apple computer, or are you on a PC? PC? Okay, so if you go to, where's the microphone setting there?
Well, before we do that, in the bar that you have the settings, there's another picture of microphone, and you have the option to mute the microphone. Can you check you're not muting your microphone? See,
try to mute it. Are you able to mute it? It's the second icon that has a microphone. There you go. You're muted.
And that so it's not that.
No, right now it's muted. So we're gonna hit that button again one more time. Okay, so now you're back on. Okay, so that means that the microphone either isn't there or not being picked up. Let me think. Settings. Okay, at the bottom right corner of your screen, on your actual computer, next to the time, you should see a little sort of icon that looks like a speaker. If you right-click on that, you should see an option called Recording Devices. Do you see anything there? Right next to the time, do you see like a speaker where you can raise the volume or lower the volume? But instead of just clicking on it to raise the volume, if you right-click on it, you should see options. You should say Open Volume Mixer. You see Recording Devices? No, you don't see that there. Do you see something says Sound? Either. There's only one other way I know how to do this, and that's to take control of your computer, but I'm sort of hesitant to do that. Okay, so we can't get it there. So okay, that's perfectly fine. If you go to, do you know how to get to the control panel? Okay, so get to the control panel, and in the control panel there should be an option called Sound. Okay, now if you click on Sound, it should open up a window that has 4 options. Do you see that? It should say Playback, Recordings, Sound, and Communication. So if you click on Recording, you should see a list of microphones or something there. Do you see any microphone there? Do you see one that has a green circle with a check mark? And when you talk, does the bar sort of go up and down? Do you see that it's registering? Okay, so do you see any other options besides the one that has the green circle? Do you see another one? Okay, so the best way to do this, right click. Figure speech properties. How do you do this? It's been so long since I've had to work on a PC like this. Okay, so you have the green circle, but it's not registering the microphone. You're on a laptop. Microphone plugged in. Do you have headphones like for an iPhone or something that has a microphone on it? Like this? Headphones like this with a microphone on it? Okay, trying to read her lips.
Just trying to get it. Oh shit.
Well, we're gonna have to start soon, but we'll just see if she has that. If not, then we'll have to try another time.
Does she have a microphone?
Well, that's what I was asking. If she has one of these headphones, we can plug that in. Maybe that'll work.
Maybe she doesn't have a microphone installed.
That's possible, but in her sound settings, she has a green circle over her microphone, which means it should be working, but I really don't know. I could easily troubleshoot this if I took control of her computer, but I'm sort of hesitant to do that right now. Oh. Hello. So you can still hear me? Okay. And I... Okay, so if I... No, not working still. Okay, well, there's should we take the time to do that? Okay. Look, I won't keep you too long, Betty. What we can do is, I don't mind if you stay here and try to figure that out. I don't know why it's not working. The best thing that I can think of is in the sound settings to disable and re-enable your microphone. But other than that, looks like you have a laptop. Yeah, no, I still don't hear any sound. No, yeah. No, it's not working. Unfortunately. I wonder.
How about now?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, you got it.
Home run swing.
Yeah.
What did you do?
Well, there was a button on this this headphone,
Okay.
and it was on the off.
Okay, I understand. Okay, so it's working now. Thank you very much for trying so hard. I really, really appreciate that. It's really cool. Do you know how many people are sitting at home who would like to do something like that, but they're concerned about this? And so you're showing people that you can survive. You can survive. Thank you for participating in this. Okay, so we'll start the show. So if you want to, I don't know if you got the mic to work there. That means that the settings on your computer are fine, but the microphone that's installed on the computer is not being recognized. So I don't know what exactly that is. After the show or before the show next time, what I can do is just quickly take access of your computer and fix it, because if I see it, I can fix it.
Cool.
Is that cool? Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
I just want to ask one question.
Yeah.
Have you used any other software that requires the access of your microphone?
No, actually, I normally just watch videos, and I don't use headphone, or I don't use microphone at all.
It might be that you don't have a microphone installed on your computer, and right now you it just has the input pin, and you just have to plug in a microphone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. You said you have a laptop, right?
Yeah.
It's just that all laptops, unless it's older than 10 years or something, should have a built-in microphone. But like I said, what we can do with that another time. We'll start the show. Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Just one thing, I could hear your breathing on the phone. So
Oh, sorry.
if you could just put it a little away from your mouth, so this way it won't bother us.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, cool. Ready to start the show. Hi, my name is Peter Hartman. You're watching The Appreciationist. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. On tonight's show, we'll be talking about expectations. But before we go any further, let's introduce the guests in the room today. Who do we have here today? Let's go. Let's do ladies first. Just introduce yourself.
My name is Betty.
Hi, Betty.
I enjoy this show every time I watch, and I always have more questions. So today, I think I picked the topic.
Awesome. That's right. Yeah, you're the one who gave us the topic for today. I was wondering what to write, and Sam told me, "Oh, Betty, she wrote a comment." So I'm really glad that you gave us this topic today. Expectation. It's going to be really a lot of fun. Thank you for participating with us.
Thank you.
How about our gentleman in the room?
Hi, my name is Dimitri, and I started this year attending the Appreciationist meetups. and having fun. It's as you have fun, you learn a lot. So it's an ongoing process.
That's right. Well, I'm really glad that you're here. We learn as much from you as, or at least I learn as much from you as you learn from me. It's really cool, the sort of sharing that you provide. So I'm really glad to have you here. I'm really glad to have both of you guys here. It's really very cool. Okay, so the first segment we have is called, actually, hang on a second. Okay. The first segment we have is called a moment of appreciation, and that's just to give us a reason, an excuse to look back at our week and to really sort of find some reason to appreciate something that happened. Now, sometimes it's easy to appreciate something that went well, right? Something that goes well, but sometimes you have to sort of see the value in something that went on. Sometimes you can only look back and realize, oh, this was good for me, this was not. So I really like this segment because it's the most important thing we do in the show. It's just giving yourself an excuse to take a moment to reflect back on your week and say, was there anything good? And it could be big, it could be something as small as having a wonderful meal. It doesn't matter what it is, but exercising your appreciation is a really good idea. So if you guys feel up to it, what we're going to do is just as short or as long as you want, we're just going to share a moment of appreciation, something that you liked in the past week. Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah.
Okay, so who wants to go first, a moment of appreciation?
I can go first.
Okay, go ahead.
From last week, my parents came here from China. They're here to visit me. And so since they came, they cook every day and they clean my place. And I just have to go to work. I don't have to worry about anything else. So I appreciate that they love me so much and they're willing to do all this for me.
Very cool. Very cool. Isn't that awesome? Yeah, that'd be wonderful. I know if I had my mother over at my place for even just a day, I'd come back and it'd be clean, spick and span. So it's very cool. I'm glad that you were able.
Oops.
Thanks. How about you, Dimitri? You have a moment of appreciation? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, it's just a little bit connection problem. It's okay.
Okay, no worries, no worries.
Yeah. I have an interesting moment of appreciation, and that is last Thursday I went to the mall to have my lunch, and it was a sunny day. As soon as I got out of the car, I could just feel the energy, and I was really connecting with the sun, with the clouds, with everything. And I enjoyed that a lot more than other times. So the next day, I went there again. Same mall, same environment. And as I'm walking to the mall, I'm not getting the same connection as I did the first time. So I'm telling myself, what's wrong? Why did it work the day before and didn't work there? And I started concentrating and putting an effort to appreciate the sun and the clouds and the sky and everything. And then all of a sudden I noticed that my appreciation increased a little more. Not to the point that it was yesterday, but it was more. And I just realized that appreciation is not something that might come naturally. It's something that we have to work on, and I don't do enough of that. I tend to walk to places and just take a quick look, and if I feel something, great. But the reality is, you could look at anything, and even if you don't appreciate it, if you concentrate on it over time, maybe 5 minutes, you start appreciating that. And that is one thing I want to start doing. That is what I learned last week. So my moment of appreciation is the actual Thursday afternoon lunch when I appreciated the sun, and the next day when I appreciated the process on how to increase your appreciation. Thank you.
That's very, very good. Yeah, that's wonderful. That's everything, right? Because it's easy to sort of feel appreciation when things go well. But more than that, appreciation is an act of will. You're choosing to adopt a perspective that brings you recognition and enjoyment. You're actually choosing it out of an act of will. And when you do that, instead of just waiting for a moment of appreciation to walk over you, if you sort of use your willpower to choose it, then not only do you get the enjoyment from your appreciation, but you exercise your ability to use your willpower to influence your state of being. And that is the most beautiful thing about appreciation. You can actually find a reason to appreciate most anything, right? So that's very good. I really like the story that you gave. That reminded me of, you know, you guys ever heard the expression "stop and smell the roses"?
Yeah.
So I used to do this every now and again. I used to walk around and I just stop and smell the flowers on the street. And then after a few years of doing that, one day I realized that I saw a rose, and then I just smell it and walk away. I was just doing it out of habit, you know. Then it hit me. I said, well, hang on a second, Peter. Did you really appreciate that? Did you really stop and smell the roses, or did you just smell the roses? And so I make myself go back to the flower and take my time and sort of appreciate it, because once you get used to doing something, it sort of falls in the background. And then you have to remind yourself, okay, it's not just that I do something. It's not just that I stop and smell the roses, but I have to find enjoyment in it. I have to sort of use my willpower to do it again. And so I really like that you recognize that you had a wonderful time at the mall, you had a wonderful time in nature, the sky, the clouds and things like that. But then the next day, when it's not stimulating you enough, you don't go, oh, it's not good enough. You say, oh, wait, it's my job to find a way to make it better than it was. And then you get everything done. Very cool, guys. Thank you very much. I have a moment of appreciation if you guys want to hear. I wrote it down here, so I didn't forget. But I did forget to open that. Okay. Yeah, so today, I'm sorry? I thought Cool. Today I had a moment of appreciation. I had two sort of private consultations with people today. Two very different people, but just these satisfying conversations. I really love sitting down with people and sort of working through what they're going through and sort of helping them to see things in a different light. It's so satisfying, not only for them, but for me, right? In order for me to inspire someone, in order for me to uplift them, I have to uplift myself. I have to feel inspired. So that was really cool. So that was with Andrew and Cynthia today. Very cool. Really glad that they decided to come out with me. And then yesterday at Canada Day, I think it was, yeah, I went to my brother's place with his family and went swimming in the pool with the kids. And just being around kids is just, to me, the easiest way to feel happy, right? When a 3-year-old looks at you, they're not looking at you with all this judgment. They're not looking at you with all this criticism. They just want to have a good time. And I got a message from my brother today. He asked me, you know, I hope the kids didn't wear you out too much yesterday. I hope they didn't sort of tire you out. And I said, wow, my goodness, I got a gift from them. I mean, I certainly didn't feel exhausted. I felt more energized. I felt more with life. I just love being around people like that. So it was really a lot of fun to play in the pool, all the pool games. And then we had an event on Sunday, I think it was, Love and Attraction. Great turnout. And just seeing people willing to sit in the heat that we were in and still listen to me and still sort of participate and enjoy the presentation it just lifted my heart. I know if I walked into a place that felt that warm, I probably would walk right out. But here were these people who decided to stay. Not only stayed, but the two people who were there for the first time, they came for consultation today. So my heart was just filled with warmth, and I really appreciated you know, all the activities that I've had over the past few days. I had a lot. Sometimes it's hard to figure out what to appreciate, and sometimes it's very easy, and this time it was very easy. So another segment that we do, it's not as important as the moment of appreciation, but I think it's pretty darn important. It's called the Joke of the Week. You guys ready for it?
Yeah.
Okay, so, I forgot to write down my words. Okay, let me just write that down quickly. So what we do is, every week you have a choice between two jokes, and the way we pick the joke is by choosing a word. So the word that was left over from last week was infinity. I'll just write that here. Infinity. I should have done this before, but here we are. And the other one is called harmony. So again, the words have nothing to do with what the joke will be. Oh, I wrote that badly, but anyway. The words have nothing to do with what the joke will be, but we'll use the words to pick. Infinity was left over from last week. I think it's the third week over, and then harmony. So what do you guys want to hear? The joke for infinity or the joke for harmony?
Harmony.
Betty votes for harmony?
Yeah.
Harmony.
Harmony for Dimitri. Awesome. Perfect. So harmony, here we go. So the joke for harmony is it's a little long, but I think you guys will like it. Like a lot of these jokes, it depends on how well I read it, and so I'm gonna do my best to read this properly. Okay. Two old men had been best friends for years, and they both lived to their early 90s when one of them suddenly falls deathly ill. Sorry. His friend comes to visit him on his deathbed, and they're reminiscing about their long friendship. When the dying man's friend asks, "Listen, when you die, do me a favor. I want to know if there's baseball in heaven." The dying man said, "We've been friends for years. I'll do this for you." And then he dies. A couple of days later, his surviving friend is sleeping when he hears his friend's voice. The voice says, "I've got some good news and I've got some bad news. The good news is that there is baseball in heaven." "What's the bad news?" the friend asks. "The bad news is you're pitching on Wednesday." You're pitching on Wednesday, so you're going to be in the baseball game this Wednesday in heaven. So I thought that was pretty funny. All right. Okay, that's the joke of the week. Thank you very much for dealing with that. Another very quick section before we get to our topic of expectations. We're running out of time here. Is what a great idea. What I love to do is to sort of present you with a great idea. It could be a product, it could be a service, it could be an app, it could be an activity, something that really deserves your attention. Because the more we give our attention to great ideas, ideas that uplift us, ideas that inspire us, ideas that help us, the more they become a part of our experience. So I just want to get you guys to check out a site. It's called, it's also an app. It's called Fiverr. It's Fiverr, F-I-V-E-R, and then an extra R, Fiverr.com. There's also an app. And what it is, it's a large marketplace where you can offer, if you want something done, like getting a logo done, getting some design done, getting a video done, having some music, anything like that, you can go onto the site and you can offer $5 for this to be done, and people will go ahead and do it. Or other people offer $5 to get something done, and you can get that done. So it's sort of this sort of crowdfunding, crowdsourcing. You can have an idea, you don't have enough money to get it done on some big level, you can go to Fiverr, pitch your idea, post your idea for $5, and people can participate with that. So you definitely want to check that out. And I want to give you guys a little bonus. This is another site, another app called Kutoto, K-U-T-O-T-O, Kutoto. I'm going to be posting both of these on our Facebook page. And Kutoto allows you to get things done locally. So you can say, you know, I need someone to pick up my groceries, I need someone to paint my house, and you put this on the app, you put this on the site, and if anybody's around who would like to get that done, for the price that you set, you can have that done. So it's a very good way of sort of using people nearby in your neighborhood, in your city, to get things done at a cheaper price than having someone else do it. So you know there are a lot of electricians who are out there who would come and fix your fridge or something, and you don't have to pay the high prices. You can just sort of put it on this app. So definitely check that out. Sounds good?
Yeah.
Perfect. So today's topic is expectation. We want to talk about expectation. And expectation is a wonderful sort of topic because it has a lot to do with reaching your goals. Not only reaching your goals, but finding joy in the moment. So let me ask you guys, and feel free to answer or not answer if you don't want to, but what to you is expectation? How would you define expectation in any way? There's no wrong answer. Or not. I mean, I can tell you how I define expectation if you want. So I think of expectation as sort of like a mental seduction. Okay? It's a sort of like vision you have for the future that calls you forward. It sort of seduces you towards action, towards behavior. And so expectation is sort of using your imagination, your ability to imagine, to envision something. So expectation comes from X meaning thoroughly or completely, and spectation, spectacle is to see. So it's to see clearly, to see thoroughly. And the more you can see something thoroughly, the more you can see it in your imagination, the more you have this expectation. And the wonderful thing about expectation is that it actually causes within you a physical sensation. Do you guys like the feeling of expectation? Or let's say a positive expectation?
Yeah.
That's right. It's really good, that feeling of a positive expectation. But when you have that feeling of positive expectation, it's not just the feeling you have. You feel like doing something, right? You feel like engaging with what you're imagining. You feel like engaging with what you're visualizing. So expectation is really a wonderful tool to get you moving. So if you don't know what to do, you sort of imagine it, you imagine it, you imagine it, and you develop an expectation. You develop an expectation over time. And then as you do that, then you're compelled towards action. So I think expectation is a wonderful tool. It's why I call it a mental seduction. It's a seduction because it sort of beckons you, it calls you forward, it calls you to move, you know? But then you can have expectations that are not so great, right? We all have sort of expectations, maybe things might not go well. And that type of expectation is also a type of seduction. In Greek mythology, there are these creatures called the sirens. These sirens are these wonderful sort of mermaid-like creatures, and what they do is that they sing this beautiful song. It's a song that's so beautiful that the sailors, this is mythology I'm telling you about, I'm not telling you about real people, but mythology. And these sailors would hear the siren song, and it would call them, and they would steer their boats towards the shore, towards the rocks, and they would crash. And so the sirens, it caused people to have this expectation of something beautiful, but it led them to something terrible. And so what you want to do is discern your expectation. There are positive expectations, expectations where things might go well, and then there are sour expectations. You sort of can't help but think that it might go wrong. You can't help it. You don't want to, but you can't help it. And so part of the question, I think, Betty, you're the one who asked this question about expectation, right? What is to the heart of this sort of, why are you interested in this subject?
Because I normally have more expectation from other people. For some reason, I have expectation from certain people, like say my family or my coworker or my boss or something. And sometimes I think, oh, they're supposed to offer me something, but that's not true in reality. And sometimes I feel disappointed, so that triggers a negative feeling.
That's right. That's the sort of the tricky side to expectation. If you expect something and it doesn't happen, right? First of all, if you expect something and you believe it's going to happen, then you feel optimistic, you feel bright, you feel hopeful. But then if it doesn't happen, then it dashes your expectations. And so the only way to feel disappointment is if you have expectation, right? Expectation and disappointment are the two sides of the same coin. And so there are a lot of people who say, because I don't want disappointment, I'm going to get rid of expectation. Which is one way to go about it, right? Instead of saying, I'm going to have this dream, I'm going to have this desire, you get rid of expectation. I'm sorry, Dimitri, you're going to say something?
No, I'm just trying to understand what you're saying.
Yeah, so the only way you can have disappointment is if you have an expectation. If something goes wrong and you never thought it might go right, you won't feel disappointed. Okay? If you go into your car and you try to start it and it doesn't start, you feel disappointed because you expect it to start. But if you go into a car that's broken and you turn the key and it doesn't start, you think to yourself, well, no disappointment here. My expectations aren't dashed. In fact, they're maintained. So the only way to have disappointment is to have expectation. But then the question is, do you want to diminish your expectation, or do you want to be better able to deal with disappointment? And then you brought up something else, Betty. Other people have expectations of you, right? They expect behavior from you. And so you're sort of living up to other people's expectation. And that too is tricky. Sometimes that's very good. If your mother expects you to do well, if your teacher expects you to do well, that type of expectation can inspire a student to do well. But if your expectation is sort of, if you perceive their expectation as being oppressive, if you feel like I'd like to do something else, but I'm expected to do this thing, then their expectation sort of becomes an inconvenience. So how do you deal with this whole, how do you deal with this mess, right? And really the only way that I know how to deal with this level of expectation, whether it's your own expectation for your life or the expectation of someone else, is to make disappointment your friend, in the sense that you don't want to be afraid of disappointment. It's just like being afraid of failure. You don't want to be afraid to fail. You want to realize that of course, disappointment comes with the territory of expectation. But I don't want to be the person that says, because I might be disappointed, I won't try. Because I might be disappointed, I won't go forward. And so you have to value things not going the way you like them. You have to value other people going against someone else's expectation. You have to value it. And if you don't value it, if you value more what other people say, or if you value more achieving success than enjoying the journey, then you're always going to sort of be in this level of difficulty. So caring about yourself, caring about your opinions, caring about your dreams is the antidote towards disappointment. Because if you care about what you're doing more than you care about disappointment, then when disappointment comes, you're just going to use that as another opportunity to expect even more. And so I tell the story. You guys ever watch the Olympics? You ever watch the Olympics where you see 10 runners, they're going to run in a race?
Yeah.
Right? And so isn't it strange to you? Don't you know that at least half of them, they know they're not going to win? Right? They know they're not going to win. They're not going to win gold. It's going to be the black guy from Kenya. He's going to win. They always win, right? And so you're not going to win. But they're still there. They're still there because despite the expectation that they might lose, they have a greater expectation that says, I'm going to enjoy it. Even if I lose, even if I don't come in first, I'm going to enjoy it. And that's the sort of attitude I want people to have about their dreams, about pursuing their life. I'm going to pursue this because even though I may not win, I don't have this great expectation or whatever it is, I'm going to enjoy the process. I'm going to enjoy even the attempt. And when you enjoy the attempt, then the disappointment is not as severe. When the guy, he doesn't get gold, he says, oh, I didn't get gold, but at least I ran the race, because he values his experience over achieving that goal. What do you think of that?
Well, go ahead.
It's a good perspective.
I think that usually when you're not the best, most of the time you're not. Yes, you want to go enjoy the experience, but the real challenge is to beat yourself. You have a time that you've made in the past. You want to do better than that time. So you're really competing against yourself. And these are the people that actually end up being number one. There was this skier that once he was doing a race, and you know in skiing you do like three races and they add your time. Okay. So he was at a point where he didn't have to take any risk and he was going to win gold medal. Yet when he went down that thing, he tried to do as much as he could go as fast as he can, and he ended up falling and losing the gold medal. And then someone asked him, why did you take that risk? And his answer was, I wasn't trying to win the medal, I was trying to beat my own personal time. So to me, that's the real satisfaction. Not the medal will come eventually.
That's right. That's a wonderful way of looking at it. I got to remember that story. I'm going to steal that story from you, Dimitri. It's a very powerful one. That's right. You sort of see this sort of behavior from a lot of people you might consider to be exceptional or number one. They're not interested in being the best. They're interested in investing themselves, you know. And so thinking of yourself as being in competition with yourself, it makes it rewarding, because the standard of your success isn't measured by other people's opinion of it, but it's measured by your own. And even though you might fail at achieving the standard that you set for yourself, it's only a failure within your own sort of experience, and you always have a chance to beat it next time. You always have a chance to go even further. So I really, really like that sort of analogy, that story with it. That works really good.
In terms of expectations for other people, and this might be easy, this might be tough. It really depends on how you develop your self-confidence. If you use other people's opinion to develop your self-confidence, then it's very hard not to care about their expectations. Okay, so it's more a question of finding out deep down how things are being processed inside of you. So if you, it's there's a technique where you're able to go down into your subconscious and ask specific questions and get answers, and to figure out where this source of their expectations is very important to me is coming from. Okay, and then you have to unravel it the right way. Because if you just stop caring about their expectations, then your self-confidence might go down. Something else may happen. So you want to. It's hard to explain without actually doing it. You know, you actually ask specific questions and you go down to your subconscious and figure out the actual source of why the expectations are important. I'll give you an example. I know this one person that didn't really love themselves that much. And because they didn't love themselves, for them, everything they did was to gain love from other people. Because if other people loved them, their subconscious hoped that they will start loving themselves. And that was a false way of thinking, but that's how the subconscious works. So then, for them, they can try to not care about other people's expectations, but it'll never work until they start accepting themselves and loving themselves. So, but for everybody, it's a different reason. It's not always, oh, it's like this. So you have to go in and understand how things are working inside of you.
That's right. That's very good. That's wonderful. Yeah, you have to. That's what I say. You have to care about your opinion. It's not that you don't care about others' opinion. You just care about yours more. It's this balance. I accept that we live in a social environment, and it's almost impossible not to have expectations from others and not to care about their expectation. So I don't want to set up the challenge for people to not care what other people think. I just want you to care more about what you think, more about what you expect than others. So you use other people's expectation as sort of a guidance level. You use it as a meter to understand where you are. But more than that, it's this self-love. Because if you care about yourself and you care about what you want for yourself and your expectations and your level of self-esteem, then when you fail at someone else's expectation, it won't feel like that much of a detriment to you. You won't feel as frustrated. You won't feel as bothered by it, because as long as you live by your standard, by your own level of expectation, as long as you're true to that, then you're going to say, well, I may not have made you happy, I may not have made you happy, but I made me happy. Now, if making yourself happy is important to you, then that will hold weight, will have value. But if making yourself happy is less important than making your parents happy, then you're in trouble, right? That's when you get in trouble. You get in trouble when the imbalance happens, when the outside is more important than the inside. So what Dimitri is saying, by periodically and regularly asking yourself questions, what do I care about? Why do I care about it? Also, what do other people want from me, and why do I care about their opinions? And you're going to come up with very good reasons why you care about your parents' opinions, why you care about your friends' opinions, why you care about the world's opinions, of course. But you want to come up with even better reasons why you care about your own. And the best way that I know to sort of remind myself of this is just to realize it's actually absurd, illogical, and to my detriment to care about what other people think more than me. I just think about it logically. My life will not be, I will not enjoy my life if I care more about other people. And that simple fact lets me know whatever I have to do, I have to stop caring about these other people. Now I have a big family. I have a big family, a lot of nieces and nephews, I have cousins, I have brothers and sisters, I have parents, and there's a lot of expectation that comes from there. Where's Uncle Peter? Where's Uncle Peter? Where's Brother Peter? What's going on? What's going on? But because I care more about myself, if I disappoint them, if I'm not there when they want me to, or whatever it is, I don't feel that bad. I might feel a little tinge of something, but I don't feel that bad because I'm spending my time doing what's important to me. And that's something that I have to learn how to do. It certainly didn't come easy. I grew up in church, and you care a lot about what other people think of you. You sort of evaluate your Christianism when other people say, yes, you're doing well. And so you get used to paying attention to other people and getting that flattery. But I had to train that out of me. And the way I trained that out of me is this is the best advice, one of the best advice that I've ever given myself, and that's to spend less time explaining yourself to other people, explaining why you want to do what you want to do, explaining why you feel this is the way. I just gave up on trying to explain to other people why I wanted to do what I wanted to do, and I just started doing it. And it's a strange thing when you sort of disengage with that communication, you disengage with that conversation. I don't mean you just ignore them outright. You talk to the person, you talk to your mother, you talk to your family, but when it comes down to them wanting you to do something or behaving in a way, I just, as best as I can, I just ignored it. I just ignored it. And I asked myself, what do I care about? What do I care about? And what happened is that slowly over time, because I stopped trying to argue and explain myself to other people, and I spent that energy instead explaining to myself why I wanted to do what I wanted to do, explaining it to myself only, then it became clearer and clearer and clearer. And because it becomes clearer, that's what expectation is. It's sort of seeing what you would like more clearly, more thoroughly. Because it became clearer and clearer, the joy I got from my own personal expectation was increased. The vision I had was clearer. It wasn't mixed up with what other people thought. And because of that, I got this positive emotion. And the value there is that when you receive positive emotion in response to something that you've done or something that you think, it reinforces that behavior. That's why we like the moment of appreciation. When you feel proud of yourself for feeling a moment of appreciation, for working on something, for activating your willpower, when you feel proud, when you feel the sensation of value come into you, it reinforces it and it makes you want to feel that way again. So you want to use your emotions as a reinforcing mechanism. It's not only enough to write down or to explain yourself why I care about what I care about. You actually have you want to have a visceral response. You want to feel it. And sometimes in order to feel it, you just have to think it long enough, right? If you think a thought long enough, it becomes a belief. Because a belief is just a thought that you keep repeating. And as you think, maybe I am good enough, maybe I am good enough, maybe I am good enough, maybe I am good enough. After a while, that thought becomes a belief that you believe, that you think automatically, and that belief generates a feeling within you that wants you to believe that even more. The beliefs are a self-reinforcing mechanism. Beliefs want you to believe them more, and so they cause within you the sensation of pleasure. They cause within you the sensation of satisfaction, and it can keep you going. But you can also sort of get addicted to negative feelings. Some people, they get addicted to negative belief systems, and that negative feeling reinforces it as well. So you have people who try to diet, and they try to diet, and then they're not supposed to eat chocolate cake, but then they eat chocolate cake. And then they feel guilty because they eat chocolate cake. And then they have this physical response. And because of this physical response, it makes them want to eat more chocolate cake to feel better, right? And so that negative sort of feeling can actually reinforce a negative behavior. So you have to sit down, like Dimitri says, and ask yourself the questions over and over so that you clarify who you are and what you want. And as you do that, and as you have the emotional response to it, it reinforces that behavior. And then when you talk to other people, when other people see you and they give you their opinion and they tell you that you're doing something that they don't like, you're going to hear it, but it won't connect with you like it did before because you've practiced this other thing. I don't know if there's anything you guys want to add to that.
Just one thing. When you have a problem and you're asking yourself, it's very important not to think, because when you're asking yourself, you're asking your subconscious. The mind is asking the subconscious what's happening. So if you think with your brain, you're not going to get any answers. You're going to think logically. So what you do is you ask a question, and without even thinking, the first thing that comes to your mind, you just say it out. And that's usually the answer, because you want to disengage the brain to connect with the subconscious. So the first thing that comes out, you just that's the answer to your question. Don't think too much. Try to come up with a good logical explanation and just say that, because then you're going to be off.
That's right. That's actually a very wonderful point to end on. When you sit down with yourself and you're doing the self-talk, you don't want to have the expectation that says, well, what's the point of this? Or I don't know, or I can't find the answer. You have to sit. You want to sit with the expectation of receiving an answer. It's a very strange thing to do. You're sitting by yourself, you think to yourself, all I have are questions, how am I going to get the answer? But if you put yourself in a state of expectation, you say, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to talk to myself, I'm going to ask myself questions, and I'm going to expect the answer. I'm going to anticipate it. Then what you do is that you put yourself in a frame of mind, you put yourself in a state of being that allows the answer to come up. And so what Dimitri says is wonderfully important. The answer comes to you, but if you don't have an expectation that you can find your answers, you're going to go, oh, I got this answer, but what's the point? What's the use? It's not for me. What do I know? But if you sit with the expectation of, you ask a question and you expect the answer and you expect the answer to be satisfied, then the answers that come to you are meaningful. I had a very, I'll just end with this story. I had this experience when I was a kid. I was 16 years old. I left church. And they told me that I could talk to God. They said, Peter, you can talk to God, and God will listen to you. So I said, well, if I can talk to God, then forget you guys. I'm going to talk to God directly. So I looked at to the sky, and I said, God, if you're up there, you and me are going to figure this out. And the second I did that, I got this idea, this inspiration that came to mind. It told me life is a story. And because it's a story, it makes sense. There are these logical things that happen. But I didn't tell myself, oh, what do I know? I had this expectation that I could talk to God. I had this expectation that I could receive answers. I had this expectation that just me, little old me, connected to this universe, that I could figure it out. And so when you sit with this expectation of believing that you can figure it out, and then you ask yourself questions, and then you receive answers, which you will, and then you have enough faith and confidence in yourself to sort of engage with those answers, then you receive the benefit of that self-talk. It's not just an exercise of being doubtful. It's an exercise in receiving responses and going on with it. So sometimes I'm walking down the street and something tells me, walk this way, don't walk that way, walk this way. And instead of going, oh, but what's the point? What's over there? I just say, maybe something interesting is there, and I just follow along the path. And the amount of times that I deviate from my route because of this feeling that I have, and I find something wonderful, it sort of just reinforces my belief that says, I should follow my impulses. I should follow what comes from within. I should follow this road, because almost every time I do it, I find people, places, and things that sort of thrill me and excite me. Look, I want to thank you guys so much for participating with the show. You guys made this a lot of fun. I did this by myself last week, and that was fun too. But I'm really glad to have you here. I really appreciate it. Betty, Dimitri, thank you very much for coming out. I just want to let you guys know and let everybody know who's watching what's upcoming for us. One of the best things to do in terms of expectation is to plan something for the future that you can look forward to. You know, when you're going on vacation, you plan something 3 months in advance. You don't have to wait till you get to your vacation to feel happy. You're happy every day in between because you have this expectation. Life is going to be better. I'm looking forward to this thing. And so you want to plan things for the future to have this expectation, whether it's dinner with friends, whether it's a party that you're going to throw, whether it's a trip that you're going to take. Plan something for the future. It sort of helps your expectation. What we have planned for the future, July 5th coming up, we have the Appreciation Walk on Mount Royal with Samantha Barley. It's a wonderful walk. You can go out and just appreciate nature, talk to people who are like-minded, have conversations that are positively oriented. That's July 5th. Right after that session, on same July 5th, we're going to have the Happy for a Change perspective discussion. So that's a community discussion about the new philosophy that I'm putting forth, Happy for a Change. So we're going to be doing that outdoors. So if you want a reason to sit down outdoors, that's a reason for that. The day after that, July 6th, Lee Weischer is giving another presentation, another talk in a series. This one is called The Power of Vision. That's all about the law of attraction, the power of vision. That sort of ties into expectation. I think it's going to be really wonderful. I might be going to that. And of course, next Wednesday at 7 p.m., another episode of The Appreciationist, and you're all welcome to join. I want to thank the guests in this room one more time. I really appreciate you guys. I want to thank everybody who's watching at home. And tune in next Wednesday at 7 p.m. for another episode of The Appreciationist. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, and thank you for helping me out at the very beginning.
Oh, not a problem.
And all the good points. I really learned a lot.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. Enjoy, you guys.
Bye, Peter. Bye, Betty.
Bye, Dimitri. Bye, Peter.
Bye. Oh, that was wonderful. That was so much fun. Oh! Please, if you have a topic, something that you want to suggest, something that we can talk about, please feel free to just post that anywhere. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you're watching this on Google+, you can put that right down below. Love hearing your suggestions, love having topics to talk about. It really is much more meaningful when it's sort of presented by you. So please don't hesitate. If you're watching this, post a comment anywhere you can find us. You can find us on YouTube, on our YouTube page, searching for the Law of Attraction Montreal. You can find us happyforatchange.com, the Law of Attraction.ca. You can find us on meetup.com/TLOA-MTL. That's TLOA, the Law of Attraction, MTL Montreal. You can also find us on a Facebook page, facebook.com/Law of Attraction Montreal, and the apps that we were talking about today will be on there. Google Plus page, you can find us right below this video. Anywhere that you're seeing us, please send your questions, send your comments, send your moments of appreciation. We'll read them on air, and you really help direct the show. There's nothing more fun than participating and playing with other people, and you give me a reason to do that. Thank you very much. I won't keep you very long. I won't take up any more of your time. I just want to say a very big thank you. And one more time, thank you to those who came out to Love and Attraction. It was really hot, and you guys were really patient. You were there. Next time I'm going to try to make it nice and cool for you guys. Thank you, guys. Take care. Bye. Oh, happy Canada Day. I forgot that, too.